friend of a friend of a friend of mine, maybe, no, just a friend of a friend, knows the author of a book called Communion, which is this very scare story account of...
That individual went through a lot of fear recognition. Yes, there is nothing inherent within the encounter that was fear-inducing.
With an Orion type of UFO.
No.
It wasn't?
No.
It was association?
Reticulum. Zeta reticulum. The idea of the fear comes from the individual himself, not from the encounter. Because remember, a higher vibratory state exposing itself to a lower vibratory state will raise the vibration of the lower being to force it to face many things it has not been willing to face within itself, and that is what the being is terrified of. Understand?
Yeah.
But that being is dealing with it, is integrating the fear and the terror and transforming it into positive understanding, and that has been one of the purposes for those interactions, because it was understood that that being would communicate his experiences and allow other individuals to come to terms with their own fears, so that by the next, shall we say, wave of interactions, there would be less fear to integrate.
I understand that, but my reaction was that the book might be scaring more people than it's uplifting.
That's all right. Because in a sense, it will still allow them to face certain ideas, to come to terms with them. The idea simply is, however, also that these things are done with agreement. Do not forget. Your entire planet on one level is agreeing to this particular type of teaching. It doesn't have to happen that way, but it is completely up to your world as to whether or not it will wake up or be shaken awake.
Well, I sort of think that that book is perhaps disadvanced the progression, because it's sort of the opposite effect of, for instance, your teachings.
I understand what you are saying, but there are many individuals that simply cannot relate to the idea any other way, and therefore they have been given the tool that will work best for them. It isn't for everyone, that is true, but it will hit those where it needs to. Understand?
Yeah.
Now, do not necessarily see it as a disvalue, because then you will reinforce the inability of certain people to absorb it.
Right.
Understand that it will hit home where it needs to.
Yeah.
It has already awakened many.
I thought that that particular account pertained to Orion type negative craft, which are occasionally
No. That group of beings is to some degree a recent part of the association and is represented by the star system in your language called Zeta Reticulum. These cases have cropped up on your planet many times now. You are very familiar with many of these cases. And it is usually the same group of beings because they are the facilitators for very specific reasons, some of which we cannot get into at this time. The idea, however, is that other groups will also assist them in many different ways, but that both their civilization and your civilization have agreed to do this in this way, to serve both of you in the ways you need to be served. For they are getting something out of this too.
Are they advanced ahead of ours?
Oh, in a sense. But there are ways in which you are more advanced, and that is what they are learning. Mostly it is an emotional understanding.
Right, that's why that book's so upsetting, because they're sort of almost below us in that sort of a way.
They are more of a mass mind, which is something that many of you fear greatly. You are far more individualistic, which is something they fear greatly.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.